and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another BeoTalk. Oh, let's see. I hear stuff from you, but
Am I
defaulted
muted?
again. What the hell? I caught it this time in time. Yay! But now I have to do it everywhere, obviously. Ta-da. We should be good.
Okay.
Sweet.
How's my battery?
Yeah. Sweet.
3 hours, 5 minutes. Good. Let's stream.
Looks like you're having a good day over there.
Yeah, it's nice out. I'm actually, like I said earlier, I'm in Calgary. I went to visit my mom because it's a construction weekend in Montreal, and everything is closed, including our shop, for 2 weeks. So it's paid holidays. So why not?
Sweet.
So that's where I'm
Let's get some shilling out of the way. Go order your stuff on Skinny Play and get 10% off. Links are in the chats, both on YouTube and on Twitch. What else? Subscribe. Come join our Discord. Subscribe to our Substack. I've been so lazy. Well, maybe not lazy. Too busy with other stuff to update that. And if you want a guaranteed answer to your question or topic, super chat help keeps the lights on and make everything go smoothly. So and Substack is also here, and I think that's it. I don't know. My mind is blanking on so many things because I've been so bloody busy with everything and redoing the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's busy. We're 10 days in. I took a whole wall out. I took almost all of the kitchen out. The rest of life is really hard without a sink, and you really don't want to have to clean your cups and stuff for coffee in the shower or something like that. So I kept the sink, and essentially only the thing left is the sink, but there's stuff behind there that I need to get to. There's a massive hole in the wall because a lot of electricity has been rerouted, new lights have been put in. There's 13 pot lights in the ceiling now.
Was it all up to code as far as the wiring is, or no?
Mostly.
Okay.
We found some shockers.
Like literal ones, or?
Potential, yes. As in,
Damn.
I pulled the dishwasher out yesterday, which was not on the worksheet for the electricians to do. And I pull it out, and I look back, and I see some Romex coming out the wall. And then I look at the dishwasher, and they cut off the plug and literally wire nutted it together, and then just sports taped it.
Oh no!
And there's signs that it's been a bit damp back there, so it's ooh, that could have been bad.
Well, it's on a dishwasher, right? It's not like you have water and shit in it.
Yeah, but that rubber seal just has to fail, and then
that's it.
You're up for good times.
God. That's just the trunk slamming bullshit. I hate that. I hate when people
and then
things like that.
Up in the so this is a house from the 80s, and apparently in the 80s, soffits were the thing to have, right? You had soffits everywhere. So I busted those all out. I'm cheap, so I did the demo myself because I know how to, and I have the time at the moment. So
it's always fun too, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and a lot of 2x4s had no nails in the top in the wall.
What the fuck? So they were just held by the tape from the drywall?
Well, the drywall screws, essentially, from stud to stud.
Wow.
This was done after it was constructed, so I think was a remodel in the 90s. But I took it all out, so I have a massive hole now in my ceiling as well. So the AC runs all the time, and I'm just cooling the outside air effectively. But otherwise, it's unbearable to live in here. So that's good fun. And then there were like, this was also a thing, right? Like ceiling mounted cabinets, not on the wall, on the ceiling of the soffit. So they had a power strip underneath. And initially I was thinking, well, that's where the hood vent is going to go anyway, so I might as well reuse that. But thinking about it, I asked the electricians, like, could you check if that's like up to code? Because the power cord ran through the cabinet without any conduit on it, so anything sharp you put in there was just going to cut the wire. And then we also found that just like sports tape together. And actually, the electrician undid one wire nut and then pulled the whole strand of cable just out like that. It just let go.
Fuck.
So yeah, that was interesting.
So you're done the electrical. You're wired for the 17s in the ceiling now and all that, or not yet?
We're getting there. What is it? I'm thinking now. I think 5 out of the 6 are in.
Oh, okay.
Because 1 is where there's like no drywall yet, so they have to come back and do that. The kitchen is being literally moved to another room, so they rerun cables to that. We have like working dimmers now, because apparently the dimmers they used in the house before, and that's why everything like went up and down, were speed switches for like ceiling fans.
Oh, wow.
Because they were cheaper.
That's, you know what, I just sometimes you can't even argue that.
So yeah, that was interesting. But all the main outlets will be redone fully up to code with like, is it a 25-year warranty or something like that? The 17s will be on their own circuit, and then the floor standing speakers will be on their own circuit. And I'm also getting put in, what's it called? Oh God, what you get when lightning like strikes your house? You get
shitty luck is what that is called.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting a device that protects against that.
Like a surge protector?
Yeah, like a whole house surge protector.
Just don't pull link eyes all the way to the fire pit.
No, but I mean, my contractor swears by them because he's into audio stuff too, and he says around here, whenever they build like new areas and stuff, the main electricians just sort of go plunk, and like a whole area is on, and that gives massive spikes. So it protects against that. It protects against lightning strikes. So the whole house will be surge protected, which is kind of nice. And yeah, so I'm getting tons of outlets of everything. Basically, all the old electricity that has been touched since new is going to be redone. And yeah, fully up to code. And yeah, it's going to be a lot nicer. Also, a lot more junction boxes. So if I ever want to splice in anything else, I can, and it's not such a problem. Also, all the junction boxes. So our rafters are like a triangle, right? But then you have these beams that go like that and in the middle, and they put them all high up. So if I ever put in spray foam or something like that, I can actually still get to them, which is really rather nice. So you don't have to like dig through all, or even if you get the itchy insulation, that you don't have to like dig through all the itchy insulation to get to where your power boxes are.
Oh, I hope you don't have to do that once you're done.
No, and fortunately these guys are doing it now, and it's obviously hot as fuck up there. Because I mean, it's Florida in summer. So it's
I couldn't imagine fucking being in a crawl space right now. Jesus Christ. Even here, it's like, what, 28 something degrees in here right now?
I mean, I have been up there and I've done some things myself up there. I mean, I've relocated some AC ducts and stuff, which was actually kind of easy. But they're up there sometimes for like an hour or two, whereas
Mhm.
I am like after 20 minutes, it's like, oh, this is too much. I need to come down. Like 2 hours of that sweaty hot mess up there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of that shit. That's for sure. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I don't have to do much crawling in the ceilings and stuff. And
No,
luckily, where I work now in Montreal, the houses are so old they don't really have an option for that. So you either go from under, or you go from sides, or you don't go at all.
yeah. So, I mean, eventually, like this is all electric, right? Like the low voltage stuff and cat cables that will come later eventually,
Mhm.
because I did a wireless scan here, and I get one network from one neighbor over there, and one Bluetooth device that isn't mine, which is like an Alexa or Google Home or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's quite faint, so actually, like I may try the 17s on Wysa and just see how that goes.
I don't think you'll have a problem at all.
No, I mean it's kind of nice living in a place where you don't have all that congestion in all the signals.
The radio pollution, basically.
Yeah, I mean plus I'm gonna go like a full network setup through Ubiquity with like a Dream Machine and everything, or was it Dream Machine Pro or whatever it's called?
Yeah. You know what I forgot? I forgot to disable my alarm before I left fucking Montreal. So my TV turns on at 6:30 in the morning for a few hours and turns off at 9. And I also forgot to put the plunger in on the BeoTime, so the BeoTime chimes every day for 2 hours. I hope the battery's dead by now, but if not, it's doing it too. Feels bad.
Well, I hope your paper walls will stop most of that for your neighbors. They're
Well,
gonna
no,
go insane otherwise.
the theater is quiet. Like, it's very quiet because it's morning music, so I don't have it loud, but just like, fuck, forgot all about that. But I still have weird stuff. Like, there's a question to talk about weird software in a theater. I don't know if anybody else has that. I put the service version on it now, like we did, I guess, 2 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
So I'm at 255.1056, I believe. I don't remember because I'm not in front of it. It's a 5-hour flight away from me now. And when I listen to Deezer Flow, after 1 hour, the theater restarts itself. It's a fully replicatable problem. I don't know if anybody else has that, but my theater will restart after 1 hour of playing Deezer Flow. And then the boot up sequence is about 3 times as long as if you just unplugged it and plugged it back in. It almost looks like it's stuck in that the white light flashing boot mode or whatever, the software update mode.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to have been fixed, but it's still every now and then does it. So
Yeah.
my contact is in the thing, man. Just beowilly@gmail.com. You can email me and we can talk about that. But yes, there are some weird anomalies that I come across. Also, I've seen a lot of people having a hard time with Sony TVs per se, and Samsungs.
I had none of these issues, just as for the record. Like, Willie is one of one and I'm one of one. It seems like Sandeep is the one with nothing connected to it is giving weird things, but the one with more speakers connected to it is fine. So it's a temperamental thing. I
See,
don't know.
Sandeep had the same thing. Sandeep just had a long reboot yesterday in my bedroom theater. Thought it was broken. So there is something going on that they haven't figured out with the bugs, and I honestly think that they also have an issue with the CEC handshake. Example, we have a client that I actually got to meet him just before I left for Calgary before the construction weekend or holiday started. He swapped from stage to a theater on a Samsung 70 something TV,
Mm.
and and he swapped for theater. He's got fucking CC issue handshakes, like the arc issues, the theater. The sound comes on, then it comes off, then it powers the screen down, then it powers it back up, and then it all syncs somehow, and then it works. And then if you just reboot the theater, then it works normally. The handshake works with the rebooted TV, and then it takes about 2 days where it glitches a little bit, and then it just fucking snowballs after that. As far as the error is concerned, I also have another guy that just texted me from he's in Nuns Island in Montreal. He just came back. We just did his theater about a month ago. It's the guy that I was telling you. We did the install and we wanted to do a cable cleanup and unplug his internet, and the fucking modem died in our hands.
Oh yeah.
So he came back just now. He's like, nothing. I've tried rebooting because I told him just unplug everything, and his Beo remote one is not paired into the theater now. It doesn't show sources. So it's a little bit of like for people that obviously clients of mine, that's a very negative experience. For me, I just put up with it because for me, I just I'm actually kind of appreciative of the fact that the shit goes down wrong for me, because then I at least have an answer or an opportunity to solve that problem or share it with the group, I guess, as far as even just the podcast goes, or talking to the guys in New York in B&O. But I do have some weird issues still with the software. I'm fully admitting that it's not something that is weird. But yeah, like in Sandeep says that reboot usually takes 1 minute exactly, and like that shit took. I'm surprised that you waited that long, but I guess if you have it installed on the wall and you don't really have an access to reboot it, pull the mains and plug them back in, then it feels bad. But one thing that what really is fucked up lately, what started happening about 4 days before I left. No software update, no nothing. I was listening to Deezer, and I swapped to YouTube through a My button. So the theater turned, obviously changed the listening position, and the panel never turns on. I unplugged the fucking thing from the power because I only have one power bar going into it all, right? So I unplug all of it. I waited 2 minutes, plug it back in, theater boots up, turn on the YouTube. Actually, I turn on the YouTube, nothing happens. Press TV, I have no sources connected. So the panels disappeared. The music is there, but the panel sources disappeared. So my YouTube, Prime, Netflix, well, I don't have Netflix, Crave, and Plex, everything's gone. You press the My button, it still shows YouTube. It turns the fucking theater, but the panel doesn't turn on. So I had to take my service remote, LG remote, literally hit the power button, the screen comes back on like there is nobody's business, and everything works, no problem. But if I turn it back off from YouTube, I go back to Deezer, listen to the Deezer for half an hour, 20 minutes, and I go back to the theater, to the YouTube, it will not power up the panel again.
Is the Ethernet cable still good between them, or did you use the B&O supplied one? Because that's quite
I used the B&O supplied, but I tested them before I put them in, so I don't think it just goes bad on its own and in the theater. And I do have the chance to test it, so I can, when I get home, I'll test it. But even when you unplug it and plug in the HDMI, just like the theater doesn't, or the screen doesn't even recognize it. It's weird.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever had any of these issues. All I can say for now is I tested my theater here and it works. So it survived the move, which is already what I'm happy about. I'm now just thinking like, oh God, I hope the newer software updates don't mess any of this up, and then I have to send it back to bloody Europe. Which is
So what's going on in there?
Apparently Lawrence had the same issue and he had to get his theater replaced. I think he's what he said.
Well, for me, it's not really the option, because when am I going to replace it? I'm just going to take out the Mozart chip and swap it, because I don't think anything else is wrong with it. It's either the Mozart chip or it's the connection panel board.
Yeah. Yeah, but as a customer, like your dealer won't take that whole thing apart generally, I don't think.
Well, it's serviceable.
Yeah, I know, but probably wants to see the whole thing.
Well, if they do, fuck them. I'll send it out. It's no big deal.
Huh. I'm just hoping I don't have these issues.
Lawrence, I'll do that when I get home. I'll actually swap the cables. I'm gonna go and get some Audio Quest cables proper, and I'll pull my own Cat 7 in between.
Yeah, I never used the supplied Cat cable that came with the theater to the panel because, I mean, it's a cheap ass cable, and I mean the way it was bent, like you can almost peel the sheathing off. That's how it felt. At least in mine, like it almost felt more like it was plastic. Or sorry, I know it's a type of plastic, but I mean more like a Walmart bag, right? Like that super cheap plastic, like put 2 kilos in it and stuff falls through it.
That's right.
Like it's like, ooh.
And I also have the same problem that Sandeep has with the theater. I have 3 Beo Remote 1s paired to it. 2 of them, well, no, all of them I have to rotate because one of them sometimes loses the connection, then I have to grab the other one, and then it reconnects after a few hours, but I just don't have patience to deal with that and repairing it and rebooting the shit, so I just take another remote, and it works, but it's very annoying that I have to, like, there's clients that don't have 2-3 remotes, they just have one, and when they lose the parity, it's over. Hey, Stefan, how you doing?
Evening,
So,
Stefan.
So
that's
yeah,
an
that's
old problem that seems back again because that was in like the very early software versions at one point or another.
Well, I guess they fixed it so it doesn't eat the freaking battery in the Beo Remote 1, but then I think it's at the cost that it completely loses connection or connectivity, or doesn't retain the connection rather with the theater.
Yeah, because I mean, go back how many podcasts? 30, something like that. When I just got it. Because this was something I complained to B&O about. Like, if you didn't press anything for, let's say, 30 plus minutes, you clicked something and nothing would happen. So you wait like 10 seconds, you click again, and then all of a sudden it was 2 clicks.
That's right. It does the same thing for me still. It doesn't take 10 seconds now per se, but it's about 2-3 seconds. And it's, especially when you watch a movie and you leave it and you give it a while.
Stefan says I have an issue with my Sony losing connection with my theater. I have to go into Sony menu and reselect outside audio.
So I think they fixed a lot, but they also broke a lot in the same time when it comes to the new software. Like, and too bad it's holidays because now we're gonna have to put up with it till fucking September.
I wonder, and I'm gonna test this as soon as my place is done, because this is a picture of last week. Like, it looks way different now. The floor and everything's gone. The wall is gone. The soffits are gone. But my LG is still on the software version that I left Europe with. So, let me see if you actually are muted here too. Yes. Good thing I caught that. But I wonder if there's also been a change in LG software where like they're chasing one another, right? Because I haven't updated my TV in 5 months now, if not more. And there was an update where people were complaining even back when I still lived in Europe.
About the Wi-Fi?
No, I forget what it is now, but there was some update I think you did that people were complaining about, and it changed something on the LG side, and fortunately my auto update was off, so I'm still on quite an old software version. And yes, the Wi-Fi was shit, but I was wired anyway. So
yeah, the people that are wired will never see that glitch, but apparently it's supposed to have been fixed. Before I left Montreal, I didn't see any update on my panel, and it still, waited for the password or for the Wi-Fi connection. I had to go to the network settings and select my Wi-Fi, and then it connects back. But I'm hoping that by the time I come back, I fucking turn it on, and it's just going to be your TV software has been updated, hopefully.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, my theater did have an update that I couldn't stop in time when I connected it here to the network. It was like, that.
It updated itself?
Yeah, twice.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I have another 2 weeks or so of renovations going, I think.
Hmm.
Or the main ones anyway, hopefully a bit less. And then everything should be okay and up on the wall, and then I can start testing all this stuff again. So,
Yeah, you'll see how it works across the pond. I don't think you'll have issues, but you might have software issues, just like everybody else now developed those. Like Sandeep says, just before the 20% increase of pricing. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's still one thing I can't fathom, right? Like, let's jack up prices, but it's actually worse than what it was 6 months ago now in terms of functionality.
Hmm.
Which is like, how does that justify anything? Because surely if anybody finds us online, it's not helping sales. And I don't wish to diminish their sales, but it also should be just a functional product.
It should not have these issues. Like, I understand that they don't, pump these in quantities of like Sonos does, or maybe they don't have the software engineering staff that is the same as like per se the Sonos. But
Well, it's also everybody's on
those
vacation
products are,
now.
yeah, but those products are also way more solid than B&O is when it comes to the installs. Like I always, when we're going to put a theater in, it's just like, okay, will it work out of the gate? Well, there's going to be an issue of some sorts, right? Like there's always the level of stress that you just, you don't really have that with the
Well,
cheaper
there's
stuff.
a difference, like
Sucks.
between a bug of like it doesn't show my the photo icon properly, or it overlaps a bit,
Yeah,
versus like, oh no, we just lose CEC, the one of the main functionalities of this product.
exactly. Fucking windy here today.
So it's
But yeah, no, I don't understand that. I don't think it's right. I think that they should be testing this more. And maybe they tested it with few panels. If they fucking works on and off, but does it work in 2 weeks' time after you live with it for a while? You know. So that's another thing that some TVs that have ARC support is from 5-6 years ago. The ARC was in its infancy.
yeah, yeah, and also
So
not all TVs are the same. But this was
hmm,
always the sort of danger of making it multi-panel compatible.
that's right.
I mean,
But then I think they should have stayed with the prescribed panels as LG goes, and that's it. Don't make it something that it's not, or it can't be. At least
yes,
for
I,
now.
I, I agree. To me, it seems like, especially where LG is going, it's their preferred partner anyway. Like, why
Yeah,
make your paint yourself into a corner with supporting so much? Well, support, telling people you support so much, and it's just so much work.
and they're severely understaffed on this side of the country or this side of the pond. So there's not even enough people to deal with all the service requests and issues that they have. And even if it's, flushed down to the Denmark, they don't really do anything in Denmark with it, or not at least in a speedy fashion that one would assume or expect for how much does the product cost.
Yeah, I mean, to me anyway, like the worst time for B&O to push any sort of update is in summer because nobody's there.
Nobody's there to fix anything that went wrong, if it did.
Yeah, so like I understand if you come back with an update, or are you still in beta or not?
No, I got out.
Hmm. I wonder if there's a
Yeah.
difference in beta or not. Anyway, like they shouldn't push updates and change things before summer because so many people in Denmark are just gone for 2 months.
Guys in beta. Do you got any issues there or no?
I mean, that's slightly that's one of the weirder things, right? Like supposedly all these theaters are the same,
Hmm.
but
Are they?
they're not, I guess, because how come? Like even for somebody like Sandeep that has two of them, where they function so differently and give you different outcomes in the same house, right? Like that's weird.
Mm.
Uh, Steve, oh sorry, Steve. I didn't mean the app in beta. I meant the theater in beta, like the product
Yeah.
in beta. Because my B&O app is still on the beta, but that never bothers me because generally when there's a problem with the app on your phone, right? That's in beta, like stuff will be misplaced or you have to click off to the side to touch something instead of like where it actually is or stuff like that. But what started to annoy me with the beta on the actual product is that it was sort of like, we don't know if this works. And if you want to
Yeah.
stop this, you have to redo everything.
Yeah, I agree with Loritz. I think that there's been some silent modifications because obviously they reserve the rights to do that. And I think that there's been some silent modifications either in the board or chip level or something that has been modified or whatever. I don't think the mark revisions on the boards are the same now. Or if they are, then what the hell is wrong with the software that it works differently on each theater almost, but the same.
Well, I still suspect, I've never actually found out, but the launch 50s were all fine. Then, or almost all of them were fine. Then something changed for a short while, and then later it was fine again. And I think there were like revisions, or maybe it was a QC problem somewhere with a supplier, right? So, which like, if you get corrupted data somewhere in the whole operating path, then like you can only write so much software for that. But I mean, in this case, I mean, I have one of the. Do I have one of the first theaters? It's not far out, but mine has been pretty solid. Like,
Yeah, mine is a November production, November 22nd, I believe, when it was made.
I mean, my essentially worst issue I think I had was the draining battery. I mean, and a bit of the wall mount rattling, but like some tape solved that. So, I mean, but I don't even have the wing flapping issue. Like, they don't make any noise for me. But then again, they weren't touching, so maybe that's also helpful.
Guy says that he thinks a lot of the theater stability may be due to other attached link products or equipment. I don't know. Like I have an Emerge link to mine, and I don't have any problems with it. The only issue I have that the delay from the video sound. Like if you watch YouTube source, you can't really join other rooms because it's delayed. It's stupid. It doesn't do it on anything else, but it does it on B&O. So I think that should be something that should be figured out. It's just delay settings, in my opinion.
Matt asked, does the harmony still look sick to you guys? No, it looks good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the harmony is still a great TV. In terms of stability, that's how it should be. Essentially, like
This crazy 97-inch now that they came out with, the fucking wings, man, they must be insane. I was watching the installation video. It's like, holy cow.
well, it's a two-person job putting that on almost.
More or less, it's a big TV. It's a big TV. Like it's almost to the point where it's just like, at what point is enough for those wings to like? It's a lot. It's a lot of TV. It's still beautiful though, I have to say.
I mean, I still like the harmony. I think it's a very good design.
You know what I wonder? Like if they do upgrade the harmony per se, like the Mark II generation, and they put a Mozart platform chip in it, right? Because that's the only thing that they're going to really do to it. Will the menus disappear? Will it be the same experience as setting up, let's say, a Beosound theater or a Beosound stage?
One would assume so, yes.
Right? Like, do you disappear all the menus from or is it going to have the same capability? Are they going to put extra microphones in it to be able to tune the same way as the theater does? I wonder. Like or are they just going to leave
things
it?
have self-tuning, so one
Yeah,
would
but
assume
there's
so.
no microphone. Yeah, there's no microphone in the TV unless you plug one in, because there is a port for it, I guess, for future use.
Sure,
So.
but like if they're going to do a board revision, they're going to have to do more than just a board revision.
I think at that point the only thing that doesn't get touched is just the amplifier boards and drivers, and the rest is gonna be new. As far as the entire guts, also the Lion X stuff is not gonna get changed because that's the power, right?
I wouldn't necessarily expect it, though. I mean, I know people have said it, but
I don't expect it, but I just wonder, or like, because I don't think that because of the theater, they're not gonna have a B&O experience TV down the pipe for a long time, if even they're ever going to revisit that idea of doing the BeoVision experience again, because you can get that BeoVision experience now with the theater,
yeah,
which also doesn't make sense to me with the theater that, okay, stage is $2,000 per se Canadian, whatever the cost is, retail, and you are able to control your TV, LG TV with the freaking app because there is an in-app remote. You don't have that on the theater. Why not? Why the fuck is this still missing? It's been so long and it's been requested so many times. Why is it still missing in the app? It should be there. 100% should be there.
yeah, I don't disagree, but I mean, I also think, by the way, if they were to do those sorts of things, like put Mozart in, put microphones in, that sort of thing, it's gonna have to go through a new testing cycle if it meets FCC or FEC or whatever requirements, and
Yes.
blah
Yeah.
blah blah, and it will probably, because of that, have a different name, because it's gonna mess up the secondhand market like crazy, or just imagine if you go into a dealership, right, and you've heard about this new BeoVision Harmony, and you think, oh, it can do all these things, and you buy one from a dealer for a good price, and it's the old version. It's like,
Well, then the dealer's a scumbag that didn't tell you if you were looking for it, right? Like, that's a different story, in my opinion, there.
sure, but you only have to have that 5 times, and people will be really angry.
Yeah.
And it's just something you like don't have to deal with if it has a different name.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. But then again, it's the same thing, like more or less the same argument, like Avant NG and Avant Original, or BeoVision 11 and BeoVision 14. Fuck, you can't really tell them apart unless you're standing, right on top of them and looking into the menus.
Yeah, well, at least they had a different name. Like if they call it a Harmony NG or whatever, like at least it has that differentiation, right? It's still a different name.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't see it coming up. I don't see it happening. But whatever they come up with, they better fucking come up with some software updates before they come up with a new product. They need to fix the theater. They need to fix the bugs in it ASAP. I would highly suggest that I understand you have a formula budget and all that jazz. Maybe you should allocate some of that, or allocate some of those funds to have your engineers live with the theaters, and per se even different screens mounted on top of them, and have them experience what's going on, and run the logs, and give them a couple link products so they can actually share the experience the same way that most of us here on the podcast do, because most of us here, I don't think, that only have one B&O product, and it's something that is spread around the entire residence for most of us. So
Yeah, I find it amazing, really, that they took out the delay settings on the Mozart things.
yeah, it's weird. It makes no sense. Like, I understand it does it automatically, but in the same token, I think they should still, if you took
But
out
if
the
it does
settings
it
for
automatically,
delay,
it should be right.
but it's never been.
Yeah.
They're basically riding the same on the coattails of the ASC platform, because the ASC platform was never in sync with the video sources in the link rooms. It was always delayed.
Video, yes, but at least audio was always perfect.
Audio was, yeah. No, I don't have any issues with the audio delay in my house. But I only have 2 products so far. Well, 3, because I have a level hooked up to it as well, just for the shits and giggles, for the experience of it. Like, can I stream? Like, is it going to be delayed or not? But no, it works perfectly. The network link I have no issues with. The only problem I have with is if I do, unfortunately, decide to listen to Deezer, I only have an hour before the fucking thing reboots, and it does it all the time. I don't get why.
But is it only the theater, or is it on the level too?
No, No, Emerge just stops playing because it obviously stops playing. But the
Huh.
weird thing is, if I join the flow from the Emerge to the theater, it will also reboot. Not in an hour, but it'll reboot in
Wait,
about
but will
2
the
hours.
Emerge also reboot? Or is it
No,
just the theater?
Emerge just keeps playing, and the theater reboots itself.
That's so weird because they're both Mozart platform devices.
And they're both up to date fully. But the theater will reboot itself no matter what source I'm using or what device am I using the Deezer from. The damn theater is gonna go power cycle itself after, let's say, hour and a half to 2 hours. It'll do it.
Hmm.
Makes no sense to me. And I
But that's
tried
with
like
Deezer Flow. Is it with anything? Is it also with regular playlists? Or
no, regular playlist works fine. But
so weird.
But if you go to Deezer Flow after 1 hour, it reboots itself. I don't know if you guys do Deezer or not in the chat, but I invite you to experiment and try it. Just put Deezer Flow on it and walk away and see if it reboots itself after a given time. For you, it may be 2 hours. It may be half an hour. I don't know. For me, it's usually around an hour mark, but it just reboots.
Stefan says one hidden feature of the theater is it's teaching you patience.
Yeah, freaking anger management too, bro. It's yeah, so that's something that I have an issue with. I don't understand. I can't fix it at all. I also don't like, and this is not just the theater. This is overall Mozart platform, and I think it's a little bit of a oversight, I guess. But my girlfriend has a Spotify account, right?
Yeah.
There's been a number of times where we hung out in the evening, and she went home, and I wake up to fucking her music in my thing because she presses play, and the Spotify Connect is still connected to my theater in my house, even though she's at her home.
Wait, I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, like I can literally take on a Beo Remote One, and if I do Spotify Connect, whatever she's doing, wherever she is, if she's listening to Spotify, it'll cut her off and starts playing on my theater.
Wait, that shouldn't be possible.
That's how it works. As soon as
That really shouldn't, like, that should only be local network only.
No, it works. She did it to me with a theater, and then she swapped it to Emerge. I'm like, fuck, man, what is going on? I'm sitting there grabbing remotes, all standby.
Yeah, but it's not like she lives in the same building, is it? Or
No. She's 2 blocks away. Like, she's on a completely different Wi-Fi network.
wow. Yeah, that's also a security risk, one would think.
Well, I guess it just retains the connection to the server for the account that was streaming to the theater last. I guess it's more or less like a convenient
Sure,
thing that
but
you
the
can just
command still
Spotify
goes through
connect.
from her phone, right? When she goes press play.
Yeah.
And if she can switch speakers that are in a different network.
Yeah, she could do that.
That sounds like a vulnerability to me.
But that's how it works, man. The Spotify Connect, I can just literally, you'll see next week when I get back to Montreal. I can just pull it up and it starts playing whatever was the last song that was playing on from the playlist that was played to the theater will continue playing. So it's very interesting that there are some of these quirks with the theater that people haven't really, I don't think that they've come across, or I don't know how many people are silly enough to use Spotify with B&O, because I find the music quality on Spotify it's terrible compared to Deezer, especially if you go to hi-fi. It's I don't think it's worth the money to pay for Spotify at all. I think Deezer is much better. I haven't played with Tidal because at the end of the day, how many music services can you listen to at the same time? And I'm not willing to pay for fucking all this stuff and have the same music on the same things. And quite honestly, like, I don't have the 90s set up, so it's not even worth for me to do the trial for Tidal. Once I had the 90s set up, if I ever set them up, because I'm considering selling them, I'll play with the Tidal thing. But for now, it's not a priority. Maybe I'll set something up in the shop. So, but yeah.
So you're finally going to sell me your 90s then, maybe?
No, I'm really debating it because it's just a logistical move. It's even if I do decide to sell them here, it's a fucking pain in the dick because I have them at the back of the trailer, so I have to actually move everything out of the trailer in order to take them out. And I need to hire somebody to do that with me because there's no way I can pull a set of 90s by myself out of the fucking container.
We can
And then I'd
swap.
have to, and then I can. Well, if you want them, you might as well drive the fuck up and get the BLab ones with you. You can take with you too.
And I'll pull it in my truck.
Well, you don't need it.
I probably need a U-Haul for that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would need a U-Haul for that and some straps. But yeah, so I just yeah, there's quirks with the theater that definitely need to be looked at, and I'm glad that there's not just me going crazy with it. There's a whole bunch of other people. I'm sorry, I feel bad for you that you are going deal with it because at the end of the day, we all paid honest money for it. Don't get me wrong, but
No, I use my drug money in my side hustle.
whatever money you use, it's the same price. And I just have I feel bad for the people that actually paid for it and are not in the field of expertise that I am in. That I almost I'm more or less appreciative of the fact that these are things are going on because I can report on it. But if I was just a B&O fan and a paying customer and this shit's going on as I have people over and all of a sudden the theater starts rebooting as I have fucking friends over trying to listen to music and you're gonna show off your system a little bit and you end up listening to a freaking Explorer, that feels bad. So
Yeah. Huh.
that's
Yeah, it's just
those are the feel bads or feels bads, whatever you want to call them.
No,
But
I understand and I agree. I mean, it's just what's strange to me, right? Like sometimes it's really like one step forward, two steps back, and I just it's odd that you. It's not like they're working with things they don't understand because they make it, right? Like you're not trying
mm-hmm,
to integrate something that's not your own thing.
mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing that like they fix bugs that then reappear, it seems like the remote's disconnecting and that sort of thing. It's I don't know.
like
It's
what do they accidentally loaded old software modules into the new software update? I don't understand where that is coming from.
I mean,
And you know what the weird thing is, bro? I have an Essence remote connected to the theater.
mm-hmm.
Never dropped out.
Huh.
Never dropped out. I can press the button and obviously triggers the my button one. Turns on the fucking YouTube panel that's dependent, right? Because that's theater's control. But it always is connected to the theater no matter what. Which is weird. But the Remote ones drop out every now and then. Yeah, it is a messy code, Stefan. I agree with you. I think that they should definitely do some housekeeping around there, not just the app, but altogether with the interaction or how it all interfaces together, especially with the CC and the ARC.
This is
For
partially why I didn't like the whole TV menu going on your phone. Right,
I
like
agree.
you are actually losing some functionality. I feel versus where you can access the settings on the device itself.
Hmm. So I just the one thing that I don't like about the app is or like the setting up the theater sometimes. Well, it's better now because they've done that so you can relinquish control and you can take over the account and so on and so forth. Where in the first stages of doing this and when it didn't work, even whatever you needed to set up, you always were reliant on the customer's phone. There is not a single fucking time that I would go through a setup with the client that his phone wouldn't ring or some weird fucking message would come in through that, like they all of a sudden embarrassed or something, or just the phone just rings and all of a sudden you have to hand it over and like fuck. So and then B&O doesn't like when you do it from your phone, but now that you can actually take over the access control and it works properly, it's okay to do. But still, even though I set up the theater, I'm more or less robbing the client of the experience of actually seeing what is going on with the system while it's being in setup, because some people like to know, right? And if
Yes.
if you do it on the screen, then the fuck, like they can just follow the screen. You can explain that over being hunched
You
over
can
a.
even follow it while being on the phone.
That's right, but you can't do that with the phone, because usually when they're on the phone and they have a problem, they're fucking calling you from the thing that can solve the problem. So then they have to put you on a speakerphone, pull up the app, this and that, and it's a headache. And I
There's
just wish that there was
probably
the
also
menus like.
things that time out after a while, like setting up your Wi-Fi or something. If you get a
I,
phone call,
yeah, it's about 15 minutes or whatever. Like even for the WPL, it's fine. But it just still like, for me, it's much harder to walk a person through the app nowadays than it was walking them through a Biosystem 4 based menus or Biosystem 3 based menu or even Biosystem 1, for God's sake. I still remember all that. But with
Avant
the
32 for the win.
fuck, but the complexity of the menus nowadays, especially within the app, and like the if you want to set up the list in the remote control, then you have to go to the remote part of the app and go there and modify, edit settings, like or edit the list, even though you still can edit some of the things like the nonsensicals. Like, why the fuck is the screen remote the first thing? I want the speaker and stands. That's what I want to move up. I don't want to scroll through a screen remote and there's some other nonsensical bullshit that is from the LG screen, but it only shows on one of my Brio remote ones. It doesn't show on the other ones. No matter how much I repair them, restart them, reboot them, factory reset them, it will not show up the screen remote and that other whatever that stupid feature is that is annoying before the speaker and manual. I mean, a stand comes out.
Yeah, I've never really understood why that was the way it was.
No. So, and there's been a request for people from people to have to be able to edit the stand position once you have a speaker or listening preset set. And I don't think that's ever going to be possible because that unfortunately is tied into the microphone triangulation calibrating, right? So calibration.
But you can
The only
still
way
move it manually through the
you can
remote,
still
right?
move it
Yeah.
manually, which is ironic, right? That doesn't change anything, but like you can't just like, let's say you fucked up by 2 degrees and it annoys the shit out of you. Like I have that issue, right? And you either move the couch or you move yourself or you just peel off the screen and you redo the calibration again with a 2 degree correction to your stand, which I think it's silly because in those 2 degrees, yes, it does change the imaging as well if you have it set up like uh, with the virtual speakers, you know, no friends, one chair, as Mark would say. I like the no friends, one chair settings a lot from B&O actually.
We know, we see your Instagram.
I like it.
I mean, I'm
Call me
amazed you
so.
have a couch in the place
It's
you're
not
in.
mine. It's not mine. It's
Uh,
fully furnished. It works out good because now I have a girlfriend, so we can sit on the, what is it called, a love seat, because it's only two-seater, and we can watch movies. But it's also funny how much I had poisoned her within those 5 months that we've been dating, as far as the B&O is concerned. It's oh my god.
yeah,
So
it happens. I don't
she
know
got
if
rid of
this
her
is,
Bose speakers, and yeah, she sold all that on Facebook Marketplace, and I gave her the M3, and that's what sparked it all.
I have a
So
feeling it's a slightly universal thing where the missus of the house will sort of go, "Are you sure this is necessary?" And it's expensive, and I really don't mind if we don't do that. Blah 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 blah, like that sort of stuff, right? And then 5 6 months in, it's sort of like, yeah, this is nice. Or
yeah,
like the missus here, she goes to her mum and is like, this screen is really small. It's like, that was our old TV, essentially. Like,
Laura, Laura, I can't find an emoji for a middle finger, but there you go. But yeah, I it's funny though because anybody that's seen the TV, it also elevates your interior as far as the design is concerned. It really does, because like my place looks exactly the same as my neighbor's place, but my place looks better because I have a set of 18s and a BeoVision theater sitting in there, and all its glory. It looks beautiful. And the movies are
Debating
fun.
about getting rear 50s.
You know what's weird? Also, another thing. I don't know how many people. Well, obviously you're on the North American side now, so I don't know if you. Well, obviously you didn't because you haven't set shit up yet. But for people that have Crave app on the LG panel that they're using for, it's like a Netflix here, but like a different thing of it.
Never heard
Do you
of
get?
it.
Yeah. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys do it or not. But I recently found out we were watching The Last of Us, which I kind of wanted to see because not most of it, but majority of it was shot in Calgary. So it was pretty cool to see the buildings and recognize your city, right, in a movie or a series. And it's only 2 channels. There is no surround from Crave.
Lame.
All the movies are stereo, something like that sucks. And I don't know if it's the cheese ball subscription that my girlfriend has, because she doesn't care. She would just ship a phone or whatever, or through the projector with an M3, which is hilarious. Yeah, it's all
Crave is
stereo.
only a Canadian subscription service, apparently.
Oh, fucking A, bro. So yeah, it's in stereo.
Like Sandeep says, dig out an Apple TV, see if that makes it any better.
Yeah, I don't have an Apple TV in my system plugged in at all.
No, but I thought you had one somewhere.
It's in the storage.
Well, it's fortunate. It's only a box like this big.
No, actually, it's not. I've left Apple TVs here in my mom. So my Apple TV is hooked up to the BV9 right now, and the old Apple TV is on the 740.
Attach it, download it on the BV9, see what that does.
It should. No, but then it won't make no difference because I only have 3 speakers connected to it.
Sure, but you can see what the output is, surely.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's all you want to know, essentially, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, or I can just do it in the shop when I get back to Montreal, because we have Apple TVs there as well hooked up to the things. So, just out of curiosity. But I like the sound of it. I definitely like the sound of the theater. Even I never had the clicking problem, like some people had with the DSP. But you gain some, you lose some.
Crave says we're currently experiencing technical difficulties with 5.1 audio on some of platforms listed below, working on the resolution.
There we go.
Apple TV, Android TV, Fire, Roku, LG TVs 2017 and up. Samsung TVs from 2017 to 21.
So all of it, they have issues across
PlayStation 4, 5. Basically, they're having problems everywhere. it's
that's basically everything. If you list off Samsung, LG from 2017, then that's 5 years of TV models, bro. You have problems in your entire app.
Well, it was also Apple iPads, Apple phones, Apple TVs, Roku's. Everything's on the list.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not worth paying for it, I don't think.
No. I mean, this is Apple TV, tablets, mobile phones, Apple TV, 4K, TV HD, Amazon Fire TV, 2nd gen and above, Android TV, Facebook Portal, Roku, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One.
Why don't they just put none in fucking huge captions as an answer? None. None of that shit will play anything for you. It's everything, bro. Like absolutely everything that you can possibly own nowadays.
Seemingly it works on the Xbox One X. Or maybe.
Yes, Andy, I agree. Last of Us is a pretty good show. I liked it. It was kind of weird. It was like the way it ended, obviously open-ended because they're probably going to go another series with it. But it was pretty interesting take on a new zombie thing with the mushrooms or whatever the fuck, the fungi. Pretty cool. It was pretty cool, but I definitely, as much as the theater was doing the magic, I was disappointed that it wasn't in surround.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Crave hired B&O programmers. There you go, and they're on holidays now, so nobody's gonna get 5.1 for a while. Oh boy. But yeah,
Then again, YouTube still only does 2.0.
even if you rent the movies,
I'm
because
pretty sure, yeah.
I never ventured down the avenue of trying to rent a movie, but
I've never seen anything multi-channel other than 2.0 from any of the YouTube apps on any of the platforms.
probably isn't. And
I mean,
but then
unless
again, I
it's
guess.
something new,
But I think they're also relying on the fact that you're gonna be consuming that mostly through your headphones. Or
yeah, well,
a very crappy sound bar per se, or TV panel itself, right? Like we're not the majority of the population as far as how we live with sound.
watch YouTube on TV with 5.1 surround sound. Oh, apparently you can watch the shows and movies with
With
other
surround.
Yeah, apparently.
Hmm.
I wonder what is 5.1 though.
That's like surround, bro.
No, as in like what of their features is
Open the door.
supported in 5.1.
It's probably the rentable movies, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a coffee in a second here. I'll be back.
Interesting. Because my internet provider has a TV subscription, which is like YouTube TV or something like that, or Google TV or whatever it's called. And I wonder if that's only 2.0. And that's kind of sort of what's stopping me from getting a subscription, besides that I'm used to European prices and it's fucking expensive here to watch TV.
Oh, it's silly. I think it's absolutely ludicrous to how much people pay. Like,
I mean, it's even with a discount, it's like $70 a month or something. It's like
that's pretty cheap. Like, if you want to have everything loaded in Canada, I think you're running around a $200 bill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Including the internet. But yeah, it's
well, the thing is, right, if there weren't any ads on any of it, then okay, then I can understand, because you're paying for the content. But the amount of ads here is insane.
Oh, dude, it's unwatchable in my opinion. Like, I can't deal with the TV. It's every 1 hour show is usually about 25 minutes long. The rest is all freaking commercials.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it's the amount of medical advertisements here, it's crazy.
Oh, everything's sponsored by Pfizer too. So
yeah, and it's not just that. It's I've like, even on regular YouTube, right? Like on the YouTube app, if I'm on my phone listening or watching something, like the amount of what is it, Merck and whatever the hell other medical companies. It's not just Pfizer, but it's a lot of Pfizer. But it's essentially like, do you have chronic toe itch? Take this.
like, right.
Also, don't forget, we're obliged to tell you that this may kill you, and also if you have any infections, that may give you brain cancer or something.
Oh, the precautionary warnings at the end is amazing, and people still take that stuff.
I mean, for some reason, I'm getting a shit ton of asthma medication ads, and
you probably
even in like the back end where they go quick, right? It's they literally tell you this may help,
but it may not.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't help when you start wheezing, is what they say, and it's like, so why would anybody take this then?
Because that's just what it is.
It's so weird.
I went a few years back. I was going to change my doctor. That was before even the pandemic happened. And I go to this doctor, And he goes, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm just turning 40." And he goes, "Okay, what medications are you on?" I'm like, "I'm on no medications." He's like, "What do you mean you're on no medications? You should be at least on 4 or 5 medications at your age." And I'm like, "For what?" Like, I don't mean no disrespect to your trade, but sir, you're not a doctor. You're a fucking drug dealer. And
Yes.
I walked out of the office and left him there pondering that, because that's insane.
Yeah,
So,
in my immediate family also, it's like your blood pressure's high. Here, have some medications. It's not like go work out, eat less
mm,
salt or that sort of thing, or I don't know, maybe not stress so much, that sort of stuff, right? Like, could
you know,
you relax a bit? No, no, just take this pill. Also, since you take this pill, now you have to take another one because this actually may cause bruising and stuff. So we need to stop the bruising that's excessive.
that's right. And all of a sudden you're eating freaking like M&Ms, bro. So
Yes. Look what
yeah,
the
it's
hell,
weird.
man.
It's weird how it works in here.
But what I find shocking as a cultural difference is the people my age and younger that just go like, "Yeah, give me all the drugs. Like I
Hmm.
want stuff done, give me Adderall." It's like you don't have ADHD, but give me Adderall. Give me Vicodin or whatever.
Hmm.
Ooh, I can't sleep. Better take medication. It's like
No, they
just
got
do a workout and get tired.
they're gonna cure everything in the US other than stupid.
Well,
They
it's
have
not
a
even curing. Like these people know for damn sure, right? That it's not a cure for anything. It's like it's as close as to performance enhancing drugs that are supposedly a cure that are used alternatively.
hmm.
It's and it's shocking. Like
Yeah, it's definitely a culture shock if you come back or come to states from like Europe as far as how much medication is used here.
and like I'm not saying like my body is an absolute temple or anything, but just the amount of shit people are willing to take because it is good in the next 5 minutes is it's crazy to me.
Hmm.
But then again, it's a free country, I guess.
Fucking, if you can take enough Advil to make it your last headache too if you want it. Fuck, that's just where it's at. But it's pretty surreal experience to come back to Calgary, to be honest. Especially like compared the roads
Good,
quality.
bad.
Oh, the roads are wicked over here. You can't compare.
I thought you were
But yeah,
saying they were like all potholy when you lived there.
not anymore, bro. Like after living in Montreal, bro, you have no idea what potholes are till you visit Montreal and drive around for at least a month. I don't even have to drive for a month. Just go downtown. Take a Christopher Columb from fucking Highway 40 all the way up to our shop and see how many springs will pop out of your shocks in the fucking car. It's insane.
So their Montreal is basically inverted speed bumps.
Montreal's crazy, man. Irony of it all is my colleague's son went to Beirut just to visit his family
Yeah.
and came back and he said, "Dad, like the roads in Beirut are better than Montreal." Haven't we like bombed that for last 10 years? I don't know if they rebuilt that quickly or something, or
Well,
we missed all the
Beirut is
roads, but
Lebanon, isn't it?
yeah, but it's
So
just like,
no, the
bro, like what is happening here? So, anyways, uh, I'm certain that this is probably, if not the last time that I'm flying to Calgary, just because of the experience that I had with the flights were absolutely fucking ridiculous. I was supposed to fly out on 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. I get a
yeah.
phone call at noon, 12:30, just about to leave. I get a phone call. Oh yeah, it's postponed to 5 o'clock. I'm like, cool, thank you very much for letting me know. So then I fuck off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to go to the airport. Get to the airport like 3:30. Not panicking. I'm like, shit. You need to be there at least an hour before. Blah blah blah. This and that. Go to the goddamn check-in. Give her my thing, right? She's like, oh sir, the boarding has been the flight has been changed, and it's taken off at 23:30.
What, past midnight?
Like half an hour before midnight. I'm
yeah.
like, tabarak. Like it's fucking 3:30, bro. Like, what am I gonna do here for 10 hours now, right? Or 8, whatever the fuck. And I'm not gonna go home because it's $60 to get to the airport. It's another $60 to get back home, and it's another $60 to get back out the fucking airport, right? So I'm not gonna spend $180 just to pedal back and forth so I can go home and sit on a balcony and wait. So I waited till fucking 12 till 11:30. We're supposed to be boarding at quarter to 11. We never got into the plane till it was like 11:45 when they started boarding, and we left the bloody Montreal at half an hour after midnight, so an hour later than already fucking late. And I got to Calgary, it was 4 a.m. I was spent, bro. I was spent.
Wait, you were supposed to be there like 6 hours earlier, because how long is a flight is it normally? Like 2 hours or something, 3 hours?
4 hours, 4.5 hours. Because I don't know if you believe in flat Earth or not, but the fucking thing spins, and it takes longer to go there than the other way because it spins the other way. So, fuck, man, like I was so fucking spent.
I mean, I knew it was bad in Canada, air travel, but only because recently on Twitter, there was this sort of semi-viral video because one of the Canadian federal government spokespeople was telling how much they improved national travel through airplanes, right?
Dude, and the
cameraman zooms up and cancelled, delayed.
Out of 7 screens worth of flights, there's 2 that are not canceled. I'm like, yeah, you guys are doing fucking great. So I'm in the goddamn plane, right? We take off. I put the portals on, turn on the deezer, and I hear doot, 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 doot. Open the fucking app. I have 2% on my portals.
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm not digging through because I had everything in the carry-on. I'm like, I'm not digging for a USB-C cable and a fucking power bank right now. I have the dude beside me that's passed out. You know, it's like a dad with 2 girls and a daughter. Like they're all, he's just fucking beat. I'm like, can I please, get my phone? So like, whatever. I just suck it up, right? Fuck it. I'm just gonna sit there and just pout. And yeah, so I just stared out the goddamn window, trying to pass out because the fucking airplanes the seats don't even recline. So it was just like it was total torture ass fucking torture, man.
I want to ask something weird because I've flown quite a bit here since arriving here, as in like nationally. Is this a thing in Canada too? Because it's not in Europe, but whenever people get on a plane here, everybody pulls the fucking windows down. So you
they close the windows?
Yeah, all of them.
I don't know. I guess you don't let the bugs in. I don't know what the fuck the logic behind that is, but
not the pull down shades thing, right?
I know.
And it's you're literally sitting in this because all you see now is plastic. You're sitting in this sort of essential plastic tube, and it's like does nobody want to look out? Like, is it so common that you can go whatever?
I guess that give you the proper Ocean Gate experience,
It was so weird.
Sit in a tube.
We were the only ones, essentially, that were in the entire plane that opened the window.
Everybody's looking at you. That's what's gonna make the plane go down, asshole. Turn it. Close it.
Well, I mean, I remember back in the day, because I've flown quite a bit in my life, that during takeoff and landing, they weren't even allowed to be closed, because if for whatever reason you crash they can't look in.
No.
You don't know where to go as a first aid person. But nowadays it's weird.
Nowadays you don't have to put your phones in the airplane mode, really. And if you do, the Bluetooth still stays on. But back then, before that, it was believed that you're gonna just rocket the fucking airplane down to earth as soon as you turn your phone on. Which obviously was horseshit.
Well, I don't know, maybe back in the day, the pilot's headphones, imagine if you get that signal and you're the pilot and you're your headphones all the time. It's is this Morse code? Are we in trouble?
We're going down.
No, flying definitely has gotten worse.
Oh,
it's
it's terrible, and just the service. Like they gave us one glass of water for 4 hours. Like I'm like, do you guys? Can I buy beer? No, I can't buy beer. What can I buy? We have nothing. Well, I'm glad. I hope we fucking don't crash somewhere in the middle of Winnipeg or something in the woods, but fucking gonna be eating people to survive for 2 weeks. Like I don't. It's just terrible. Like the whole. It's like cattle, more or less. They deal with you nowadays in the airport. It's literally it's sick.
yeah. I mean, I've been on what 6 flights here now, and everyone had their windows shut. Didn't matter if it was evening or daytime. It's like,
That's so weird.
yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, I don't understand. But I mean, the only time here, though, I mean, there were some delays, and it was for actually good reasons. Like there were massive thunderstorms at the airport. Like, and those sort of delays, it's sort of like, I understand, right? I'd rather not go down in a literal lightning bolt and flames and stuff.
I agree with Stefan. When I do go further, I'm still gonna drive there, but I'm fucking done. I'm done flying. This is my last flight. I'm certain of it for a long, long time. Getting back to Montreal and c'est ça, bro. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with the flights. I'm done with this whole fucking thing. And especially, like, God forbid you gotta go through Toronto Pearson Airport. Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
In terms of driving with Florida, I'm actually kind of happy with how the roads are. They're quite good.
They're very good.
I mean, I would almost say they're close to being European.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're close to being Dutch, which is a compliment. I mean, because in most places around here, they're better than Belgian roads. Because Belgian roads are like, as soon as you leave the Netherlands and you get to Belgium, like you hear the difference in the car. It's like, oh, I'm in Belgium now, because all of a
The
sudden,
difference
like,
in asphalt, like the asphalt
yeah,
quality, or
and it's
just how
much
much
rougher,
it's
and the tire noise, it's like 5-6 dB higher all of a sudden. Like it's literally, it's
it's like
oh, we're in
driving on a
Belgium.
rumble
Yeah.
strip, driving on the rumble strip the entire time. Fudge.
That's essentially what driving in England is like in a lot of places.
Wow.
I mean, England has some potholes that, like, they're rim benders. And they're like
You
on
know
the
what's
motorway too, right? Like where you like if you were to measure it, it's like 6 inches deep or something.
oh fuck, like you have no choice
Yeah.
sometimes. You have to you gotta take it. Also, this is my best friend revealed this to me. I had no idea. It's a hack more or less to all the people that are trying to merge in front of a Tesla. Just merge, bro. That fucking system, it protects the car, it'll let you go in. Like it doesn't matter if the guy doesn't want to let you in, the car will stop and let you merge in. So if you can merge in Montreal, just look for a Tesla and you can fucking cut them off. And they can't do anything about it. So I'll just put it there.
Then it turns out he doesn't have the self-driving option feature. It's trash.
But yeah, the Tesla will let you sneak in, which is good. There's a
No,
lot more of
that's
them in Montreal than here. There's not many. Like it's funny because like it's trucks and shit over here. There is no trucks in Montreal. The only people that drive trucks are legit contractors that need them. Because the pain of parking here or in Montreal is very real compared to here. Like it's a pleasure to drive anywhere. You fucking if I go to the liquor store, like acres of land to park the car on. Where in Montreal, it's like, oh fuck, do I just walk there better? Like it's not fun. But it's a nice city, I have to say, compared to here. Like it's much more alive. So, and
yeah. I mean, the richer areas here have a lot of Teslas, and those are like the next village or sort of town. It's not. It's kind of a village because it's like 5 minutes, but then all of a sudden all the houses start at like 1 million and go over. But there's way more Teslas there, and then where I mean, not exactly here. Here, most people have like nice cars, and then in the other village over, which is like, I don't know, the top end is like 400 grand or so. Everybody has these big ass trucks,
Mhm.
like these dualies and stuff that they just go to Walmart in and stuff. It's just like, why do you need a
Fucking
truck this large to go to Walmart?
pick up fucking paper towels. Like, come on. Bro, I gotta say, man, I'm not a fan of the Nespresso coffee from those big capsules. My mom swapped machine from the little ones to these big domey.
The
They're just
spinny ones or whatever they are.
shite, man. Coffee's garbage. I don't like it. There's granules and stuff in it. I don't. Fucking 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I have one of these K-Cups machines here because for some reason here in the US, coffee beans are ridiculously expensive compared to Europe. Because if I had a
Yes.
if I didn't care about cost at all, I would have a coffee bean machine again. But it makes no goddamn sense. But I found in a local store Illy coffee, like in the K cups, and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is gonna be good coffee. Turns out all of these fucking K cups for Illy, and it's only Illy. The filter doesn't fucking work, so it just pumps out all the grounds into your coffee. So it's like you literally have mush. It is like, what the hell? So we returned it. It's like, damn.
Get suits swimming on it. It's called a Bulgarian press or whatever.
Yeah, or like what they do in Turkey,
Like
right?
the
Where like the
Turkish,
bottom
yeah,
is
the
is
Turkish coffee is all concrete.
yeah. It's
So
so it was exactly like
it's
that, except it was unintentional. And I thought like maybe it's the settings or maybe the pressure or no, it doesn't matter what you do. Just all the grounds come out, and you see that like you open up the K cup thing, and the filter's just there, and you just see that it all goes down the side.
oh god.
So yeah,
Espresso's good, but I don't like those. I don't like those the big dome capsules because apparently like there's a barcode on each of them. So when you put it in, it reads what the fuck it is, and then it's the spin cycles are different from uh, different. I guess cup to cup, I guess, or pod to pod. But yeah, it's just I'm not the flavor's not there. I don't know. Like my girlfriend bought that machine. I feel bad now, but she loves it, so good for her. But I'm like, damn it, nah,
I think
I'd
back
still
in the
take the
day,
other
the
one over
original
this.
Nespressos had the barcode thing on top as well, or like a chip or something, right? Where it would only do the
No,
actual.
they never did.
And I forget which
No, they
which.
never did. I don't remember
Maybe it
them.
was K cup then back in the day, but the
I
fix
think it was
was
Keurigs that they had. Yeah,
yeah.
they had those stupid barcode
The
ones.
fix to that was like you buy one original K cup, you take the label off, and you just lay it on top
Yeah.
of all the aftermarket ones.
Oh God. But yeah, it's coffee's important. Believe it.
Yeah, it fixes most things.
It does indeed. Uh, I've been traveling with this little Beosound Explorer, man. I am fucking very impressed by the little speaker. I actually find it sounding better than A1. Not the
Really?
bass, obviously. Yes, but it's a very personal speaker, so it's not to be sold as a party speaker by no means. But it's you can advertise it in a catalog. You know, you strap it to the side of your backpack, and you have music for a few meters around you as far as people are concerned. I love it. Like it's taken to the picnics when they're like it sounds fucking great, and I cannot believe that that thing is actually stereo on its own, which is very nice. I very much like that speaker. Very underrated. So
Hmm.
I'm fortunately not gonna go home with it because Nathan's taken it. So I have to buy another one. But yeah, they're a fantastic
I
product.
mean, I like them for their durability, but I prefer an A1 for my main uses, and those are so few and far in between, really.
Hmm.
I mean, I've used my A1 recently for the first time in like a year, and that's quite literally because there's nothing here, right? And
Hmm.
When like two
Push
by
to the
fours are
corner.
falling down, I'm not going to put like a Beosound 2 in the corner of the wall.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. So, but yeah, that's definitely. I I do like it. I do like it a lot. My friend Andrea, I brought her the speaker, the A1 Gen 2. She's the Gen 1. And it's funny that the Gen 1 is much boomier in bass, but Gen 2 is much cleaner and refined in sound altogether.
Oh, in terms of sound for the A1, I prefer the Mark II, the Gen 2, whatever they call it.
Yes.
Uh, but I already
Yeah.
had an A1 Mark One, and it's not something, like I said, I use often enough that I would buy the new one over.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
No,
still mess
there's no
around with
point. Just
the EQ a bit, like take the
equalizer.
bass, take the bass out. It's looking, and somebody's
So,
parking in front of the house. Sorry, the front of the house is over there, and I have this window
oh,
here. And it's like, what are you
let's
fuckers
load your shotgun.
doing? Yeah, I can only do it
Load
in
your
the air,
shotgun.
like I can't show a real one because YouTube will demonetize everything.
But yeah, it's a very nice product. It's surprisingly nobody busted my balls traveling with it, so that's good. But I'm also shocked by the battery life of that A2. I mean the A2, the it's insane how long it lasts.
Yeah, what's it rated
But
for?
I
Like
think
four
like my
days or
batteries are my balls.
something?
Yeah, it's insane. Like I've charged it twice since I've been here, and I've been playing it all day long. Like I've been doing around the patio here. I'm putting these lattice skirting around because the fucking rats are starting to move in under my mom's deck. So I'm basically here to do a whole bunch of man around the house work and also renew my paperwork like license, driver's license and shit because I've been driving with expired license for like 8 months.
Oops.
So oopsie
Maybe
daisy.
you
So I
can
got
use
it
the
all
Explorer
updated
to
and
just like hang it under the deck and show cat sound or play
play,
cat sounds.
play cat sounds. Yeah, put it in a store mode so it's just whenever it's plugged into the USB-C, it'll turn on and turn off, and you can have it like that. But yeah, no, I'm very impressed by that speaker. Very underrated. Very 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 underrated. Especially like if you want something just for yourself, like something to go in the park or even in the coffee shop, bro. Like you sit this out when you sit in the patio, put this little thing there. It's loud enough to like you can hear it, but it's not loud enough to be obnoxious and rattle shit on the table, and also doesn't bother people around you. It's a great little toy. Great little toy. Very much like it.
We've decided what you need to do to get into the US quicker. You need a name change.
What is that? I need a name change. Oh yeah, I should become a transgender swimmer or something. I think that I would have a chance right
Yeah,
away.
I've just figured out what it should be. Wendy Santana.
There you go. Wendy Santana.
Yeah, and fly to Cuba and paddle over with a paddle boat, and then it's like, hola, me llamo Wendy Santana.
Oh God. Yeah, soon enough I'll be there. I'm definitely gonna spend another goddamn winter in Montreal. I think that's a given. Because even if the paperwork comes out, I'm not gonna move in the middle of the fall. I don't want to do that.
Are they really that
And also
slow
now,
too?
fuck, it's ridiculous, man.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous. But I also, it's not. I can't really be bitching because I kind of put it all on the back burner through the summer because I figured, fuck it. I'm never coming back to Montreal to live here again, anyways. So I might as well just enjoy the full life cycle of the city as far as the seasons are concerned. And unfortunately, I'll witness 2 winters instead of 2 summers. But it's just what it is. But yeah,
Yeah, well, I can't
it's
believe I beat you to it, but
no, it is what it is. At least I'm not suffering with like a Sony TV. It's good. The
sorry,
diet of
you're roboting a bit. I have no clue what you just said.
I know.
Canadian
It's
internet.
that's right. outside of my house and the Wi-Fi. Well, I got fucking like full signal. I don't understand.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's the problem is more from the house to the street than anything else.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely it. Which is fuck because this is a brand new neighborhood. You know, like this has been built 2 years ago. Yeah,
Doesn't mean they did it right.
that or whatever the allocation is. Somebody's fucking downloading torrents or something node and pull everybody
Your
down.
mom. Darn all the shit.
She's gone. She's gone. She went out to. She's out on a wedding in not Belize.
Maybe it's like back in the day, right?
Cold
Because she's old school, where you like load up everything before you go because it'll be done by the time you're back.
Oh, it's the laptop, turn it off. But no, there's nothing there.
It's like 6 terabytes
sure
of
she's not-
movies.
she's not-
Like I want it all.
She's not remoting from Bahamas to fucking check on her torrents. I'm certain of that. Like that's not. My mom is not that advanced when it comes. But yeah, I don't know. Did it fix itself? It's not really. It's still shite.
Yeah, it goes in and out a bit. I mean, as long as you can hear you halfway decently, it'll be all right.
Well, you can hear me still, so then we're good in that regard. Just give me a second. Let's see if I can move
Have
the
you
antenna a
ever
little bit
actually
or some shit.
sold a 97-inch Harmony yet, or you haven't found anybody crazy enough to spend 64
No.
grand on the TV?
No, you know what? Quite honestly, we don't really sell harmonies at all. Like the last harmony we sold was a month ago to a guy in Toronto, but he bought the whole package. Like he went 50s Harmony 83, and then he ended up changing the Harmony 83 to a Harmony 77 because the G3 panel or whatever the 80-inch panel doesn't have nowhere near as much light output as the other one. So he changed it back to 77, and yeah, we haven't really sold much. Like we've sold about 30, 40 theaters, to be honest with you, and a lot of the people. I think that the theater is much better selling point than a Harmony because a Harmony is even though you can put it on a wall bracket, like it is still a very immense TV dimensionally and depth wise, right? Because the mechanics and the lamellas the wings aren't fucking thin. Like everything about it is massive in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's glorious. It's glorious the way it is, and you know it's very nice. But in the same token, it's too much comparatively to theater, and also like when you come to, you know, especially like when Kareem does the demos, like the Harmony can't hold the candle in the wind towards the theater when it comes to the acoustical output. That's just not possible.
No.
Like it's decent, but it's not possible, obviously, because of the physical change, the physical size of the drivers, and so on and so forth. So that's already a challenge, I think, for the Harmony itself. And you know, the size of it also dictates where, you know, like if you want a theater, yeah, you can spend $6,000 also and buy a floor stand, and you can have it move, right? And it sounds more better, or it sounds more accurate because of the tuning is location based where you sit. So Harmony is a very tough sell nowadays, unless you know you're basing your purchase more of a decor language in the house, then you're basing your decision based off of the tech. Yeah, it's a fucking shitty deal. I wonder if I pause the stream. Like, will it improve something? Did that get better?
Seemingly. Sounds better.
Yeah, if I'm not. Yeah, if I'm not. So I'll just won't have the YouTube opened.
Well, the chat can still continue, surely. That should go up on the side.
Yeah, I'll pause the stream because I closed the fucker too completely.
I mean, I would say like a Harmony, especially in 65, is really expensive compared to a theater in 65.
100%. 100%. Like if you're going to go with the harmony, you got to go at least 77, if not bigger nowadays, to get the
Yeah.
justification out of it. Because to me, 77 harmony looks better than 77-inch theater because of those massive ass wings.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like those wings are brutal, especially when you go to the 97. Like that shit is fuck. What are they? A meter something each, at least.
Yeah, about. I think it's no more potentially. I think
It
from
has to be
left
more
to
than
right,
that.
the 97 is 2 meter 20.
So meter 10 per side for a wing.
Let's see what LG says there. LG G3 97, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
G2. Well, let's see. I mean, it's only 25 grand.
Fuck. It's nothing. Yeah, I wonder how long it's gonna take.
It's God, now being here, it only shows it in inches, and I'm not inch to centimeters. It's 2 meter
It's gotta be over
15
two
from
and a half.
left to right.
Fuck. Because I remember Avant 85 was 2 meter across, but also that has a massive bezel and stuff. Where
Yeah.
nowadays it's just there's really no bezel; it's just screen, which is crazy.
I mean, it's actually surprising that a TV that large is only 123 pounds, which is
Yeah, but there's no more glass. You gotta understand that.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. But it's
polycarbonates
like
and stuff.
what is that? Like 55 kilos or something?
Yeah, about there. That's not that much.
No. I mean, it's enormous in the sense that you can't lift it by yourself because you can't reach any of the corners.
No, that's a big panel. Like even 83 that we have in the shop, like it didn't seem that big, but it is a massive panel, bro. It doesn't look
Yeah,
big in the showroom, but if you put it in the apartment, like wow, like that just dominates the fuck out of everything.
that's why I
But
like it. I could
but if you have a
actually,
big enough room,
yeah, I do now.
well, you could probably get a 97 once it goes cheaper.
Yeah, I just really don't want to spend 20, what, it's 25 grand or so, or
Yeah, it's too much.
and that's X tax, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
welcome
gonna
to the
add another
pre-tax pricing.
6-7% or whatever it is. Like that's 28,000 just for the panel. Is no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still ridiculous if you're paying 10 to 15 for just a panel. Because I mean, back in the day, people did that, but I don't think you can get away with that anymore now.
No, not with how much the technology has progressed. In my opinion, it's hard.
I mean, I'm gonna pull this. How much would you spend on and let's say 2.
What's the top price? I think anything over 15 G's for a panel is insane nowadays. Like, and considerably insane, in my opinion. Because if you want to wait, you can just wait. Or if you can't wait, then you can buy that for much cheaper in a year's time. Like I've nothing but respect for first adopters, but at some point I don't adopt.
I mean, I still remember when like my was it C977 came out. That was at the time it launched, it was like €7,500, and that was. But also at that point in time, 77-inch was like, holy shit, that's an enormous panel.
Mm-hmm.
And then the C10 came out, and then the C1 came out, and then the starting price of a 77-inch was only €5,000, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, it's still a lot, but like I was like, holy hell, I overpaid for this big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time of leaving, I think my C283 was like €5,500. This is like, this is insane. This is so much larger, and it's like $2,000 less. You
Mm-hmm.
can get another Beosound 2 or something for that at that time.
Yeah, I'm debating like if once I go to Florida, like, am I gonna sell the theater here or just take it with me? I don't know yet. I would probably just take it with, and I don't know. Like, quite honestly, I don't think I would upgrade a panel for at least another 2-3 years on it, unless the screen goes wonky or something. But there's no point. Like,
No. The only reason that I actually got rid of the C9 panel is because of trade-in.
mhm.
Because, like, what you tell a dealer, like, I want to trade in my Harmony, but I want to keep. Well, I initially said I want to keep the panel, and then the
Mhm.
answer was, "What do you want to do with it?" Because the theater doesn't fully support it. And it's like, what doesn't fully support mean? Yeah, it doesn't turn on or off, but you can do everything else with it.
Cool.
Wait, what?
That's so weird that it doesn't turn it on and off.
Well, apparently LG changed the software code for turning on and off for some reason.
Only on the C2s?
No, on the C9s from
Oh, the
C9 to
C9s.
later. So CX,
Mhm.
C1, C2, C3 are and up are all on the same code. It's just what is it? C9, C8, C7 are on this also on the same code, but it's like there's no reason to make stuff backwards compatible for that much, right? Because the C9 at that point was already nearly 3 years old.
Yeah, and the TVs are so disposable now. It's sad.
Yeah. So far, the average people would spend on a panel is 2,500 to 4,500.
That's a very sensible number in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
so
anything over that, you're going into like large displays, in my opinion. Like if you're going over 77 inches, which
yeah.
not every
Well, if you
can
wait
fit those.
6 to 9 months, generally you can get a 77 for 4,500 or so.
Hmm.
I mean, because the launch prices, the first adopter prices are always expensive with LG, right?
Of course.
So by the time the C4, G4, whatever comes out, the C3 and G3 will be quite affordable.
Yes.
And unless they do something radical,
Like the only radical that they can do is light output nowadays, you know. So for people like in my scenario where I have the TV facing against the back window, right, in my house, so it's predominantly backlit. So sometimes during the day, especially even in the when it's later on in the evening, because the sun shines onto the building across from me, which is more or less white, so it reflects like it's a lot of brightness inside my apartment, and you have to pull the curtain up because sometimes it's just unwatchable no matter what you do. Like the light sensor there is inside the LG panel is facing forwards. It's not like on the Avant where it looked 360. And quite honestly, it's not able to. Even if they did that, it can't look 360 because it's on the bottom of the TV, and the back of it is covered by a fucking VESA mount. So it can be done.
I'm
But
not sure it would be comfortable anyway in a situation like that to just make the panel brighter. Because then you're just, yes, you can see it better, but it's like, God, I'm staring into the sun.
mhm. Are the GX panel compatible with theater? I don't see why not.
I'm 90% sure. I'll have to ask, but I'm pretty sure the only thing not compatible was the G9 and C9. Well, they work, but uh, So
They just don't
everything
fire up.
works, like all of it works except for the on and off command. But the GX, I think, is in. I think they have a list somewhere on their website that says which panels are compatible.
Yeah, they do. There's a whole matrix of it, and also like there's a matrix of Samsungs and other ones that supposedly work, but then they don't because when the rubber hits the road, it's usually there's not much traction. It's all getting out of control, especially with those third-party panels when it comes to that. But we've learned it not even just the hard way, but we've had nothing but negative experiences really with it. So the few people that did go with, I think Stefan, you're the only one that's holding out to not upgrade your theater with an LG panel. But if you don't, you bought it more or less for music than anything else. So it's a little different story. But people that daily watch TV, they had migrated to LG. Either they traded the panel in, or they just moved it to another room, or gave it to somebody in their family. But most of the theaters that we have now are LG based or LG screen, and it still issues, I guess, in some points. So
I'm thinking if I can find that list somewhere. I think I had it list at some point. I don't remember where I put it.
list of what?
Of the panels that were all supported.
It's somewhere on the BOIs, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
I can try looking it up, unless my internet goes to poo.
I can't find it. If I can find it, I'll post it on our Discord. It may already be on the Discord, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm sure it's somewhere on the Discord.
Let's see.
I don't have it here. Let me see. I'm looking at it. I'm looking for it on the BOIs. It'll take me a bit. And I also still have those empty the ghost presets. I have to actually, when I get home, I have to factory default the theater and retune it again, which sucks. So
I'm looking at the spec sheet right now, Guy, and I'm not sure it mentions which, because there is a table where it also tells you which Samsung and Sony and was it
yeah,
Panasonic panels are supported. And it's like 5-6 rows of manufacturers and which model numbers are quote unquote supported. So I don't think that's mentioned in the spec sheet because I can't see it at the moment.
Olufsen X LG OLED 2023 product lineup. Okay, no, it's not it. Weird. I used to have the document, but I just cannot see it now. I cannot see it anywhere. It's insane. Browsing in the LGFs causes blah blah. I'm going like back in the early days of this.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere. There's a recommended LG screens I have.
Yeah, that may be it. Well, he's asking for an LG GX panel.
So let's go back to this recommended. Oh no, I fucking bullshit. Oh, I don't know what page I was in now. That sucks bollocks, man. Like replacing stuff. Seriously. I lost it, man. Too bad, so sad.
So it seems like 65% people say $2,500 to $4,500 for a panel. Yeah. And then there's a good 24% that says 1,000 to 2,500. So that would leave you these days with 55 to 65. I mean, I guess if you have a smaller room, that also makes sense. Not even in terms of like I don't want to spend any more, but I don't want any bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have, I don't know, your living room is 4 by 4 meters or whatever, like I fully understand you don't want a 97-inch panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be the whole bloody wall at that point.
That's a lot of screen, man.
I mean, that's like
97 inch, a lot of
IMAX in your
screen.
living room. Like you're watching tennis.
I honestly, I would not shy away from entertaining the idea once I'm in Florida and settled in to buy a fucking 97-inch screen.
I think you can't live in an apartment if you move to Florida.
No, I don't think so.
I think you should rent a house because depending on where you are, they're roughly the same price anyway as a nice
Yeah.
apartment. But at least you're not annoying your neighbors, and I mean, it's slab on grade and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing I guess the problem is that, like, you know, at that point you're more or less up against break-ins, right? But if you move into a gated community, it's fine, I guess, wherever.
Yeah, but don't forget that if it's relatively new, as in 96 and or newer, they're storm-rated windows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't just smash those with a hammer like that.
I guess, yeah, it's a different story. So we'll see, but I definitely I don't know. Depends if I'm gonna end up with the 90s in Florida or not, or I'm gonna sell them before I go. If I sell them, I'm I'm definitely gonna buy 50s.
Here, like,
That's
I showed you this image before, but those sliding doors are holding all that water and not leaking.
We'll see. Yeah, that's fucking insane.
I mean, normal windows can't hold that much water.
No, that would have been all the way inside already. That's fucking insane, man. Like that's what, a meter and a half, not meter 20.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
So, I mean, if it's built beyond 1996, you're most likely going to be fine with burglaries unless people pick locks. But then, I mean, they can also pretend to be the super of the building, right? And take all your shit.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. You know, but
I mean, fortunately, B&O is heavy enough that it's not that stealable. Or a lot of it is, anyway.
well, no, good luck moving a fucking theater with a screen. Good luck moving the 90s. Good luck moving the 50s. 50s, yeah, you would fuck them up if you don't know what you're doing, but you can take those. But 90s, forget it. But then again, also it's a pain in the dick, man. Like 90s are a serious hassle moving, man. It's like moving a car without wheels.
Yeah.
Is basically essentially what it is. And you can't do it by yourself, and yeah, it's not fun. So
I mean, even if you cut all even if you want to steal a theater, it's not that easy.
no.
I mean, also surely you would steal it to sell it on, right? Like there's no real easy way of stealing a theater quickly without seriously damaging it. And at that point, why are you doing it?
Hmm. Well, the only way it's easy to steal it, I guess, if it was on a table stand mounted with like just a power cord and a fucking HDMI to the screen. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be an easy money. But yeah, usually everything's mounted proper.
I mean, you can also get some decent locks and cameras, and then
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely make sure that the house is protected. But yeah, I'm strongly toying with the idea of just downgrading to 50s just for the sake of ease of move, and maybe buy the 90s yet again later. But they're getting a little bit further and further out of reach, in my opinion, when it comes to affordability of those. So
yeah,
that's the feels bad about the 90s.
you probably also like what Guy says. I think that like they also stop function. Like you can tell B&O that like that your shit is stolen, and they can turn it off essentially, right?
I think so. Through the app, they could.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
I mean, which is I guess in a way nice, because I mean, fuck them. Whoever steals your shit.
Mm. Well, that's nice also, and the fact that you really have to have the speakers online in order for them to work properly.
Which I'm
Well,
still
you
not
don't
a
and you don't.
huge fan of. Like the 50s and 90s, you can sort of go around that mostly.
Well, if you have a television, yeah, because then you can change the speaker presets and filters within the speaker groups per se, or listening presets, whatever the fuck you want to call it nowadays. But yeah, anything else, BLAP 28 feels bad. Unless you're doing power links, then they're fine still. But you do need to update the software on those fucking things.
Eventually,
Everything.
yeah.
Eventually, like, you could probably do it from a USB stick, but then that's not even a thief at that point. That's a technician that stole it. Because like, how the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know and where to even plug in the USB stick to begin with. So, and people that see those speakers, they don't even know how they come apart in order to move them, right? Like, those are the worst. The worst speakers to unplug they are the worst speakers to unplug if you have to power cycle them and you have no access to the actual wall socket. It's terrible because you have to take the lamellas, you have to take the grill off, you have to unscrew the ding dong. Well, you don't really have to. Yeah, you do have to unscrew the plate cover, take it off, unplug it, wait, power cycle, reassemble. So yeah, that's little feels bad.
But I think 50s are already pretty much hard to steal because of the weight.
Yes. Yeah, and they're awkward to pick up too. Like, they're, even if you're not in a rush of panic of stealing or breaking into someone's house, like, those speakers, calm or not, like, they really are hard to deal with. Or not hard, they're more awkward to deal with than, let's say, fives. Where fives you could just pick up by the platters and one guy can really move them too. Like, if you pick it up, put it on a dolly. Where the 50s, you need two guys to grab them because
You
it's
also need to
really
know how the
awkward.
covers come off.
That's right.
Because otherwise you're just holding this weirdly shaped tube, essentially.
Yeah, it's really, they're pretty quirky. But that's where I'm at with it all. Like, I'm really debating, should I get rid of the speakers or should I not? And if I do, how much of a headache is it to fucking get rid of them? Because it's not fun to move them. That's another thing. So
No, it has to be under certain preconditions. If you're responsible for the XYZ,
yeah,
Mr., Mrs., whomever buys them.
Jeezer fucking.
Well, it's like you're like, because if somebody says, "Can I pick him up with my pickup truck?" The bed is X by X, right? It's
cool.
like,
How are we gonna get him on top of the truck then?
yeah, exactly. Because you don't have a forklift there.
No, no, there's no forklift. So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting venture for sure if I decide or I do happen to sell them. It's gonna be very interesting. So we'll see. But they're 6 years, 7 years old almost, and they've been sitting in a storage for a year and a half now. They've been sitting in storage since March 2022. It's a fucking heartbreak, bro. It's too much. Sucks. So I don't want to have them sitting there anymore. I want to do something with them. So
Yeah,
we'll
then
see.
maybe you can change everything over for the anthracite. So
No
like
fucking
Henry
way.
get anthracite 50s or something.
No, I don't think I would ever get anthracite 50s. I'm gonna go with silver because if I'm gonna, maybe I'll even get rid of the theater so I have less shit to deal with when I'm moving over. Like, so far, I guess it's boiling down to if I do sell the 90s, I'll be coming to Florida with, I'm thinking I'm gonna most likely sell the shape as well, because one of the clients here is asking about it. So I'll be coming to fucking Florida with a Beosound 1.
An emerge.
and emerge and explore Just- and start over, which I don't mind.
I do love that they finally did the wings and the bottom plate color matching.
On what? On the 50s?
Yeah, on the ones Henrik has, the anthracite ones.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice, to be honest with you.
Well, the black 50s, right? Everything's
Yes.
black except for the wings and the bottom plate of the tweeter.
Yes.
Those are standard aluminium.
Yes. So
Which
now
is-
they actually
They color
finally did
match
that.
now.
Well, we only whined about that for how long?
Well, they still haven't fixed it on the black ones.
Oh, I guess. So, where's Henrik? He was somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Was it in the BeoTalk that he was saying that shit?
No, that was on a private chat.
Yeah. I don't have it here.
Anyway, go follow Henrik on Instagram if you don't already.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it because now I'm intrigued. But yeah, because we have the 50s that still have the silver on them, on our dark ones, which are piano black. I guess they're not really anthracite.
Yeah, no, the piano black ones is the non-matching colors, which is it's even more startling because the color is even darker on the rest of the speaker, which is like, oh, this is just such a piece of oversight. I don't understand. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it for today because I still have to like do buildery stuff. I'm Bob the Builder all week.
Same here, brother. I gotta finish up the patio before I leave tomorrow. Well, I'm leaving on Tuesday morning. Hopefully, if the flights are not gonna be messed up. So I'll see you guys all on the other side of the country in
Yeah.
Montreal next week.
On Tuesday, the drywall guys should come in, so I don't have a massive gaping hole to an empty attic.
Nice.
So, thanks everybody for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and all that. And see you hopefully next week. I'll let you know how it goes and come join our Discord and that sort of thing.
Bye bye.